first going to read the joint press statement on the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the University of St. Martin and the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform. And then we'll read the MOU in its entirety for the signing.
We welcome all guests and colleagues to this press conference, whereby both organizations will be signing the MOU for collaboration in research and community service. We would like to acknowledge the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, Mrs. Shamina Powell Richardson, and the President of the University of St. Martin, the Foundation Board of Directors, Mrs. Valerie Hitterson Pantaflet. We would also like to acknowledge all the other colleagues and staff members of the University of St. Martin. The St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform is a coalition of 3 well-known social organizations on the southern side of St. Martin. They are the Windward Island Chamber of Labor Unions, representing the workers and their families, the St. Martin Seniors and Pensioners Organization, representing the senior citizens, and the St. Martin United NGO Federation, the umbrella of non-governmental organizations providing services to the community. The people of these organizations have a lot of achievement, but also challenges to realize their full potential in this society. The University of St. Martin entered into a collaboration agreement with the platform to provide them with the information, educational resources, and research services to assist them in the realization of Swalija's rights to development. We agree that we need to get data and information on the following questions. What is the reality of the people of both sides of the island, Swalija? What is the state of health and the well-being of the people of Swalija? How resilient is the housing situation of the people since Hurricanes Irma and Maria? What is the income situation of the households in Swalija? Is their income sufficient for them to have an adequate standard of living? What is the cost of living on the island? What are the human development indices of the people of Swalija? What are the human development needs of the people of Swalija? What needs to be done for the people of Swalija to fully realize all their human rights to an equal level as European citizens in the mainland of France and the Netherlands? What is needed for the people on both sides of this island to become one island, one people, and for them to have one common destiny?
Memorandum of Understanding between the University of St. Martin and the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform for partnership and collaboration in the study of research and of poverty and social economic inequality on St. Martin. This Memorandum of Understanding is made this 15th day of March 2019 between the University of St. Martin and the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. The University of St. Martin and the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform have agreed to enter into friendly partnership for collaboration in the areas of research, community service, informational services, and the development of public policy in the areas of poverty eradication, labor, and the treatment of social economic inequality on St. Martin and in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. While non-legally binding, this Memorandum of Understanding serves as an expression of mutual interest and good faith to promote collaboration in the study of socio-economic development on the islands St. Martin, including the condition of labor and the labor market, education, unemployment and poverty indicators, take into consideration statewide criteria, poverty among youth, adults, and elderly, post-hurricane recovery efforts, collaboration in joint efforts that will help understand the nature of poverty and inequality on the island St. Martin, collaboration in workshops, lectures, conferences, and other informative sessions and activities open to the general public, collaboration in providing government with social, scientific, as well as grassroots input for policy consideration. USM and the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform agree to 1. Conduct research on issues related to poverty and social economic development on St. Martin. 2. Conduct research that will assist in establishing a poverty line. 3. Seeking funding from external agencies, government, labor organizations, international organizations, and statewide governmental bodies for research in social economic development. 4. Organize conferences, workshops, and other informative sessions on issues of socioeconomic development, poverty eradication, and services for children, youth, adults, and the elderly of the north and south of the island. 5. Facilitate the sharing of information and reflection on policies, initiatives, or events that affect vulnerable sectors on the island and the community at large. 6. Organize at least 3 joint public events a year. 7. Engage the community, government, labor, the business sector, non-government organizations, and communities of faith in dialogue for the benefit of friendly relations, peace, equity, sustainable development, and collective well-being. To be signed by Dr. Antonio Carmona Baez, Mrs. Claire Elshot Aventurin, and Dr. Andres Raymond Yesurun.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
Certainly, there is history behind the SMART conference. Tell us a bit more about it.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about 17 years ago that we started this the first time, which is the SMART stands for St. Martin Saint-Martin Annual Regional Trade Show. So back then already we saw the need of working together and representing this island as we always have done as a dual nationality, many cultures, one island. So we have started way back then, and now this is our 15th one because of certain hurricanes we missed 2 years, but it is a 17-year-long relationship. And this year we're trying to involve much more stakeholders and the community in order for us to have an effective SMART, because we're all interconnected when it comes to the tourism hospitality industry, especially now after Irma. And yes, we mentioned that still because we are still in the rebuilding phase of showing off our product. Yes, we have been doing a good rebounding, but we still have a lot more to go. And the relationship with all the trade and the trade industry and the press and media that have to come out and see what we have been doing so far is so important. And like the VP VP says and the minister said, there is no one side. We're doing it together. So from here on always, it's been like this now, that we are promoting the whole island. We each have our characteristics and it's all blended in as one destination.
Can you remind us again as to exactly when this wonderful venture will be taking place?
Yes, this event will be taking place in May from the 21st to the 23rd. And basically it is one-on-one meetings, but at the same time vendors, businesses have an opportunity to showcase also their products. As well, we have workshops for betterment and improvement and educational trainings for the stakeholders that attend, whether they're buyers, which are, of course, the trade industry, travel agents, tour operators, or suppliers that are hoteliers, airlines, car rental companies, you name it, who would like to do business with the industry. So these are all the different components. We will have also excursions available so everybody can experience actually that we are open for business and show what our excursions are on the island, throughout the island, whether it's land or sea.
I take it that a venue has also been selected for this year's event.
Yes, and that will be Sonesta Maho is the location. It's going to be a brand new concept, as we all know. We've been seeing it in the newspaper, and we're very excited about that. And at the same time, we will be having activities also throughout the destination, but the venue will be for the conference at Maho.
That will lead me to ask now, what sort of participation have you received? How would you describe the persons wanting to be part of SMART? Are they enthusiastic about this restarting of the program?
Yes, they are, because we all realize that, SMART started off, of course, with hotel products. It was hotel products and, airlines coming. But to showcase and do business, to try and get tour operators and travel agents to sell their product, to sell their hotels. So there is a need for it, and we see an increase of interest. And what we're trying to, especially because it's returning now more than ever after, in this rebuilding stage. But at the same time also, it's a very interest for us is the type of buyers that are coming. The buyers can not only be the tour operators, the usual conventional ones we've been having, they will be attending. But what we're seeking this year is to get from the different regions where we know we need to have them come here and do business with our products, with our hotels and other businesses. It's of utmost important that we're inviting, and we have been inviting those. So it's from the Caribbean region, from South America, from Europe, specifically from the Benelux, but even from other countries like France, England, and see who will be coming. Travel agents is also a very big component for that, for them to come in. We're trying to also increase the interest of the surrounding islands to join here and come and showcase their products.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact Wib today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you for?
A few weeks ago, we received the metal sharks and watched them as they were offloaded at the harbor, which was followed a few days later by Father Adam blessing the vessels before launching them into the water. Weeks of training has finally been completed. It was indeed a pleasure to be present yesterday for the inauguration of the metal sharks. Despite minor setbacks and minor adjustments, we have to acknowledge General Levin and everyone involved in the process to ensure that St. Martin has not one, not two, not three, but 4 new metal sharks to protect our lagoons, beaches, coast, and all those who enjoy boating. These metal sharks cannot function by themselves, and I'd like to acknowledge all the men and women under the leadership of one of our very own, Mr. Roberto Livingstone. I'd like to emphasize to the men and women the importance of their role in the Coast Guard. Their careers have been expanded from 5 to 7 years, which is also followed by their ability to transfer to other departments within the justice chain, such as the police, customs, immigration, should they, of course, so desire. As we always say, and the good book says, to whom much is given, much is required. Mr. Livingstone, I believe, is a role model that many of our young people should be looking up to. Born in Sabre and residing in St. Martin for many years as a police, then the Coast Guard, then he was the chief of security at the harbor, and now he is back to the Coast Guard in his leading role. And with everything going on around us, I asked him to maintain the course and continue to build this organization stone by stone and one achievement after the other. It is also important to stress the importance of cooperation, not only with Aruba, Curacao, and the Netherlands, but more importantly with our brothers and sisters on the northern side, Sabre and Statia, Anguilla, and St. Bart's. With our strategic location, we must be our brothers and sisters' keeper on the water. And when the call of distress comes, as it sometimes does, it is comforting to know that the Coast Guard provides search and rescue missions. They also focus on prevention, for example, during the Heineken Regatta, as well as our famous August Mondays. But we need to remain vigilant of those with wrong intentions, like transporting drugs, money, weapons, and people. The role of the Coast Guard and the use of the metal sharks cannot and should not be taken for granted. We have to protect the investments that we have made in St. Martin, our tourism industry, and the marine industry. I humbly ask them to execute their task with respect and integrity. At the end of each shift, I ask them to make sure that the anchor drops at home or rises on the lift, and that every man and woman is safe on our shore.
Hello, St. Martin. My name is Jose Helaga and I play basketball. I have organized basketball events in St. Martin. Sport matters to me because it makes everybody come together in unity. So I challenge the businesses community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facility. I'm also asking the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take on the challenge and step up for sport because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sports SXM Facebook page for more information. Hashtag Sport Matter, hashtag Are You In?
One,
two,
3.
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Has the best paid politicians in Europe. This is the title of an article that appeared in the Business Insider on January the 4th, 2012. In a comparative study of 20 countries in Europe, average base salaries of MPs in Europe were ranked. The Dutch MPs ranked second with an average base salary of $135,000 annually, or $11,250 a month, after the Italian MPs. The Dutch parliamentarians attacking the salaries of the St. Maarten parliamentarians. This started already in March 2013, so exactly 6 years ago. Dutch parliamentarians Bosman from the VVD and Van Raak from the SP. They were of the opinion that salaries of the St. Maarten parliamentarians were too high as compared to their salaries. According to them, $10,000 for the salaries of parliamentarians of St. Maarten is too high and much more than the €7,500 that they earn. We looked at the exchange rate of December 2013, and there €1 equals $1.375, which meant that their salary equaled $10,312. In other words, the Dutch parliamentarians were spreading a lie. They were getting a little more than the St. Maarten parliamentarians in US dollars. Actually, with the cost of living in St. Maarten being higher than in the Netherlands, the nominal amount should have been much higher, not only of these salaries of our parliamentarians and ministers in the Council of Ministers, but also of the civil servants. Do the Dutch politicians want equal salaries for St. Maarten politicians? Well, yes. 3 years later, in January 2016, MP Van Raak wanted to lower the salaries of all parliamentarians of the kingdom to an equal salary for members of all 4 parliaments in the Dutch kingdom based on the average income of the country. That meant that the salary of parliamentarians in St. Maarten would have to drop to $3,000 a month, and in the Netherlands, some €3,000 a month. So he wanted to lower the Dutch parliamentarian salary by more than half of the current amount of €7,500. We again calculated at the rate of December 2015, €1 at that time dropped to $1.09. So their pension, their salary equaled now $3,279 as what was calculated, the €3,000, which is still more than the $3,000 that he wanted to give to the St. Maarten parliamentarians. So the Dutch politicians were still lying. Such an equality salary, with St. Martin having a much higher cost of living, is a social injustice to the St. Martin politicians. Don't even think of what this would have meant for the salaries of the civil servants and teachers. These also would have to be cut in more than half if we follow the proposal of Mr. Van Raak. Come on, MP Van Raak, you should know better. Let me explain to you now the local politicking with the St. Martin salaries of politicians. I said politicking. Because on January the 16th, 2014, former DP MP Roy Marling submitted a motion to cut salaries by 12%. Marling's motion failed because none of the other 14 members of parliament supported it. For the lack of support, he withdrew the motion. MP Tamara Leonard, in 2015, when they were going to handle the 2016 budget, was the second MP in country St. Martin. It's history to propose a pay cut for parliamentarians. Wow, this one proposed a cut of almost 33%. She wanted to bring the pay down to 12,000 guilders a month, on a par with the money that parliamentarians in Curacao receive, which is basically a drop from $10,000 a month salary down to $6,667 a month. Obviously, her motion didn't get support from the MPs.